Hello everyone, welcome to Naomi's Bookshelf. Welcome to TBR Clue, which is kind of different than I normally do. You see, today I am exhausted. The last week and a half, 2 weeks, I might even go 3 weeks. I have not been capable of doing anything except for sleep, eat, and work. It's just the season right now at work. I guess it is. I have also had a very tumultuous beginning of the year. I actually crashed my car into a light post that wasn't on. And so I have been taking the bus. My city does have a decent bus system, so I am able to get around pretty easily. But it's definitely impacted my life in a way. And so I'm kind of, 2024 is not starting off great. I mean, sometimes you just gotta laugh at the ridiculousness of it. And I was literally sitting here for 30 minutes before trying to work up the energy to film my TBR. I know it is January 29th and I have 2 days to get this done because that's something I pride myself on. We're gonna move into the actual TBR. I've been rambling. January has been an adventure, which I don't want to repeat. And February will hopefully be better. That's all I can say. All right, so let's go over the books that the cards, the prompts I had for January's TBR, and if I accomplished most of them, which I didn't. The first one I got was The Wrench, and I did read The Woo Woo by Lindsey Wong for this prompt. I didn't love reading it, but I'm glad I did. For the study, I had my Bible study book in here, or I put my Bible study book in here because it is a study book. I am going to finish that by tomorrow night. So this will be done, even though it's not done currently. It's Abide by Jen Wilkins. So I am almost finished it. It's based on or surrounding 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John in the Bible, which I am thoroughly enjoying. For the knife or dagger, I went with after changing my opinion and changing my book, I went with Genealogy of a Murder. This one is an arc that I got last year. I think it came out in May. And I listened to an audio as I was busing. This is going to be my new thing, I guess. And I really enjoyed the audiobook. It is a genealogy about these 3 families, these 3 in particular families, as they are one day connected through an act of violence in 1960. So it goes back until like 1900s, like that decade when many of those grandparents came over from Italy, from Ireland, different locations, and how that interacted or how that impacted them and how their family line went down. I thought it was really interesting. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed a new kind of look at true crime. I put it in for the knife as one person throughout the book that we hear about. He actually committed a crime with a knife, and it was quite a grisly affair because it talks a lot about the penitentiary system, parole, how that works. And I found it to be quite a fascinating book about like American history and how people tried the like measles vaccines and stuff. And one of the people who was kind of key for that in the prison sections of the books committed quite a grisly crime with a knife. For Mr. Green, I did Henry V, which is it's the Hollow Crown. That's what I'm looking for. Hollow Crown miniseries thing that the BBC or whoever put out. So I put it in there because Mr. Green was a reverend for a while, and there's a lot of talk about God and faith and different ways that like your destiny is kind of in God's hands in the book or play. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be filming tonight, but I have no time, so we're doing it. Anyway, Henry V is Mr. Green. For the ballroom, I did read 2 to Tango, which is by Kathleen Fuller, and I really enjoyed that one. I think I gave it 4 stars or 5 stars. Either way, I really, really enjoyed it. And it goes about dancing lessons and second chance romance kind of thing. I thoroughly love that series. I think it is phenomenal. I think I did give it a 5 actually because it was just so easy and so good to read. For the library, I have put in this spot, I don't think I'm actually going to finish my prompt for this, but whatever, A Rising Man, which I can't remember the author's last name or how to pronounce it, but it is my buddy read with Berna and Nikki, and I failed again. I am so terrible at buddy reads. I am just so sorry. But yeah, I am working on it. My brain just literally decided that life was chaotic enough and there's no way my brain was going to take in that information. So I'm trying to get through it. I don't know. I might be able to finish it, but I'm calling this prompt not complete for now. For Mrs. Peacock, I am putting in, or I did put in throughout the month, I guess I should say, Dream Team or Dreamtown by Lee Goldberg. This is a book series about a sheriff's office, the Eve Ronan series, which I have raved about. I really enjoyed the whole series. I have not finished this book. I'm trying here. My brain is like not comprehending much. But anyways, this book series is very political because it does handle things like sheriff's office as opposed to police department, and how people can rise through the ranks. So Mrs. Peacock is related to politics. That's where it is, and I have failed as of now. The Conservatory is one of the prompts I did finish. Thank goodness. This is the book Flowers and Their Meanings. And this one I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought it was really cool to have flowers with their interpretations, but also throughout the book there were illustrations of flowers. So I really enjoyed that book. This is my Buzzwordathon book and my Golden Girls Reading Challenge book. So it covered a few things for me and I was really happy I got it done. The last one is The Candlestick. And right now, I'm currently reading, if my brain can cope with me, Unruly, which is an arc that I have, and it's very similar to the idea that it's going to lighten my TBR load, especially my immediate TBR, immediate books I'm currently in the middle of load. We'll see if I get there. I have like 25%, 35% left, so we'll try, but it is a bigger book, so I'm not loving it, to be honest. It's just not my style. But that's okay. It's about British history and it kind of goes all the way back to the beginning. And it's great in theory, but I think it's a lot, or a very similar vein of Jane Austen's History of England, where it's kind of like satirical, comedy, witty. And I think that's great if it's your sense of humor. It's not mine. The author is a comedian. And a lot of his writing style or his jokes or whatever is coming up, it's just not my thing. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, I'm not loving it and that's okay. I just gotta finish through, truck along and get to the last part because it's something I really need to just finish. I think I read 6 books. So that's gonna be fun. Let's pull 9 new cards. I am so exhausted I'm not pulling out a game board. Sorry. That's just, that's not happening right now. We'll see what prompts we pull for this. I will link my playlist along with my new rules of how to play the game for the year. So you can check it out if you're interested. But we're basically drawing 9 cards. I still have not made my author jar. And I still have not read Robinson Crusoe. We'll see if I get to that one. But I'm interested to, I don't know. We'll see what I pick up. I'll see what I think fits with the cards for what's on my shelves. So the first one is Dr. Orchid. So I will be picking Old Town on the Green Grove, or In the Green Grove by Cynthia Rylant. This one is our group read for the Little House Readathon, which is running from the 7th to the 10th. If you can see in her hand, she's holding some flowers. Gonna go with that for Dr. Orchid. This one follows the 2 years that Laura Ingalls Wilder did not write about when writing Little House on the Prairie series. So I'm excited to pick this one up. It's short. It's gonna be middle grade. It's gonna be easy, I'm hoping. So yeah, this one, I don't know. I think it'll be a really good time. I think it'll be good. I'm kind of like hesitant because it's going to be an interesting time without my reading mojo fully in place. I don't have an audiobook. I just have physical, which is making me apprehensive. But yes, this is going to be for Dr. Orchid as she's holding some flowers. Next card is Professor Plum. Let me see what I have on my shelves. And I also am just pulling these right now, so they might get moved around. We'll see. For Professor Plum, I'm going to be reading an arc, which is The Lost World of the Prophets by John Walton. This is one that is, I started it, and so I was kind of like bogged down, but it's a little heavy because it's kind of like a textbook on how to study prophecy in the Bible. So like how to look at prophecy, how to analyze it, as opposed to just saying, here are the prophecies. That's what I was kind of aiming for when I picked up that arc. So it's going to be a bit of a study for me, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's going to be wonderful, but it's definitely a study thing. So I'm going to go with that for Professor Plum. Next prompt is the billiards room. Any books with games? My Agatha Christie book has a game. Murder on the Links. This one is about a golf course, so I'm going to go with that. This is going to be next in the reading list. And actually for the Read Christie 2024, they are doing the decades. So this fits into the decade that I will be reading for the first 3 months of the year. This will be interesting. I have never counted this as one of my best, so it'll be interesting to reread it. This one follows Poirot and Hastings as they go to France and try to figure out something that's going on. I just remember Hastings was very boy crazy, or not boy crazy, very girl crazy. She was all about the girls and it was very annoying. So it's going to be interesting to reread and see if I have any different feelings or opinions on this. The next prompt is the lounge. Okay, the lounge. I am kind of needing an audiobook here, and I know this because I'll be bussing a lot. So what can I pick up? So my lounge book will be my reread. So this is Whatever Tomorrow Brings by Lori Wick. I've been wanting to reread her books lately, and this is one series I really wanted to prioritize. So we're starting with the beginning. This one is about Caitlin, and her parents are missionaries in Hawaii, but they come home because her mother is ill, like home to the U.S. Mainland, and it's kind of an interesting time of she's staying behind, taking care of her siblings, because her mother passes away pretty early in the book, and she kind of has to take care of everybody, and it's a romance book. So I'm going to be picking this one up for the lounge. I figure it'll be an easy, quick read, and I'll be able to lounge while doing it, even though there is no audiobook. Next prompt is the kitchen. Let me check my arcs. I'm going to go with a nonfiction for this. This is for the kitchen, obviously, and I'm going to go with Shakespeare's Pub. I feel like at pubs and bars, you get food. So we're going to go with that. This is a nonfiction by Pete Brown, and it is about, let's see, the subtitle says, A Barstool History of London as Seen Through the Windows of Its Oldest Pub, the George Inn. So I think that'll be interesting, an interesting look at history, and hopefully an interesting way to look at Shakespeare's time. So that'll be interesting, and another nonfiction, because I'm really trying to prioritize that. Number 6 is The Revolver. Okay, let me think about that. I'm going to go with one that is clearly older than Revolvers, but this is a book in a series, and I've read the Odyssey. I need to read the Iliad, and this year is the year to do it. Now, I just picked up an audiobook, which had, I think, a translation by Emily Wilson. And as soon as I saw that, I grabbed it because I loved the audiobook that she, or the adaptation she created of the Odyssey. So I had to pick it up. I'll be putting that on as my next audiobook to pick up. So that'll be a good one. I feel like it'll be good, and I'll finally get this off of my to-read list. This will be my classic for the month, I think, and I'm very happy to have finally got this on and finally get a good, or I feel like it's going to be a good adaptation, or not adaptation, but translation. There you go, translation of the Iliad, because I loved the Odyssey. Number 7 is The Study. Okay, The Study will be a book that I don't have, but I am reading for a couple prompts. So the book I'll be reading is Blanche, The Life and Times of Tennessee Williams' Greatest Creation by Nancy Schoenberger. This one came out last year. It's not too long. And this is a book about Blanche Dubois from A Streetcar Named Desire. I've never read that book or watched the play, but I do need to read a book about a Blanche or a Rue for the Golden Girls Reading Challenge. So this is a perfect one because it's about Blanche. And then also for my happy words, positive words for the buzzword-a-thon, there is the word greatest in the title. So I'm going to go with that. It shouldn't be too long, and I think I can get an audiobook, which is amazing because I'm listening to about an hour's worth of audiobook a day, and I can get through a few this month. For prompt number 8, we have The Ballroom. Okay, let's figure out The Ballroom. So the book I'm going to go with for The Ballroom is actually going to be for Rep Regency. I want to try doing more readathons and maybe challenge myself to actually read more because that's been a bit of a challenge this month. So I'm going to be putting in here Lady of Quality. This is by Georgette Heyer, and this is about someone who's well past the age of falling in love. She's 29, so she's dead basically. As I'm saying, it says a 31-year-old. So basically it's, I don't know. I've never read Georgette Heyer, but it's about a woman who is on the shelf officially. And I am excited to pick it up and try a Georgette Heyer. So this will be my ballroom prompt because I'm sure there's going to be a ball or two. For the last prompt, we have The Library. Okay. Let me see what audiobooks I'm interested in because that could be something I could do for sure. Even better than that, I'm going to actually pick up an actual audiobook, or not audiobook, but library book I have. This is the plan right now, always subject to change, but I have a shelf now of library books, and this is like one of 7 or 10 on them, and they're not my priorities, so that should be changed. I'm going to be picking up Fool Me Once by Harlen Coben. If you have seen the Netflix show, it is incredible. I could not stop watching it. My parents and I turned it on to just try it out one time, like one little bit, and we couldn't stop watching. We watched every night for 3 nights in a row. My parents finished it actually in 2 nights. 8 episodes, 8 hours worth of TV in 2 days. I took 3 days. But yeah, I really enjoyed the show. I don't think I'm going to love the book as much because honestly, I think the story was best told as a TV show. But I'm excited to try the book and see what it's like, how it compares. So this will be my library pick for now, and we'll see what happens. I also forgot to mention that for the Book Covered Book Club, the prompt for February is a real person on the cover, which the book Blanche also has a real person on the cover because it's an old photograph. So I think I'm going to have to prioritize that book because it's covering a lot of stuff for me. But yeah, that's it. That's my reading plans for February. I am doing the Little House Readathon, so we'll see if I read more. I'm planning on reading A Prairie Faith, which I will leave the name of it down in my description box, along with all the books I've mentioned, in case you're curious and want to check them out. I would also really appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you are new here. But also, if you'd like to leave a comment, that would be amazing. I'd love to hear what you're reading in February and what kind of things you're prioritizing, if it's readathons or something else. I'd love to know. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you next time. Bye for now.
In a house that I don't know,